What's up, everyone? Scott Brandt, one half of the Dreamer Cypher host. We will return to our regular broadcasting next week. Patrick's actually out of town. He is in Phoenix for this week, out there canvassing the area, looking at expanding the agency that he has down in that area. So exciting, the growth that's taking place for Patrick and what's taking place all around. It's a beautiful thing just to see what's taking place and what is occurring with just progression, growth, anything of that nature. And then trying out, we'll see. I'm trying to find the broadcast right now on my Facebook page to see what it looks like, because I had flipped it over and it looks as if okay, yeah, gotta love it. So ended up flipping over, had a restream that I was using for a while, and it just was not my friend for streaming. So flipped it over to now StreamYard. So if you're looking to stream to multiple sites, StreamYard may be the route, just from my experience and whatnot, but that's something that you'll have to go try. There's multiple different avenues and whatnot. But when we look at what we talk about with the Dreamer Cypher and having individuals come on here and really talk about different perspectives and whatnot, it's powerful, because if you are a business owner and if you are a dreamer, one of the things that we really overlook a lot of times is the fact of getting away from the business and kind of doing a deep dive for who we are as an individual, for what we want to do outside of the business. And it's unique because when you ask individuals about their desires, what experiences that they want to have in life, it's hard for them to really determine what they want. And so it comes into the point of, what experiences do you want for yourself to enhance the life that you're living? What's that experience that you want to bring to the forefront that allows you to really fulfill your dream and chase after what is your passion, what you're driven about, and what you really, really want to accomplish? And so for me, one of the things that Patrick's brought this up, and we've talked about this, that with the launching of Two Native Sons, the conversation started with, hey, have you thought about writing a book? And so went through an exercise, and one of the columns that was looked at was experiences in life. And so I had written in there writer. And this was 2 hours before Patrick and I had met up and sat down and talked and whatnot. And so it's one of those things that when you look at yourself as an individual, what experiences do you want to have in life? And have you taken the opportunity to really sit down and think about what you want to experience for yourself outside of everything else? And I look at it as a opportunity potentially for you to reconnect with yourself, to connect to yourself as an individual, because we have the tendency where we disconnect from ourselves and we don't go and really get back to the core of who we are. And so you have to go out there and really do what you need to reconnect with yourself, because we have a lot of people that end up getting lost because they've disconnected from themselves. And so it is one of those things that a lot of people that are very driven on running a business, their identity is the business. And then they end up disconnecting from themselves with who they truly are. And then they miss out. And so the one thing you want to look at is really find your true identity. And if you're building a business and your identity is the business, one thing I would ask you is, what happens if you lose that business? What's going to happen to you as an individual if you were to lose that business? What does that do to you in the long run? And so it can be tough because people really don't take the time to look outside of whatever they're doing and really drill down to who they are as an individual. And so one thing is, ask yourself, what experiences do you want to have in life? And then the next thing is, how do you want to grow? And so you've got to look, there's multiple different ways that you can go and grow and end up enhancing what you can do as an individual. So it is one of those things that maybe you want to go attend a very high-end conference, go and learn new skills, go and learn really about yourself. And so you've got to ask yourself, how do you want to grow? And then the final thing that you want to do a deep dive and look at it is, what contributions do you want to make to society? What contributions do you want to make to your city? What contributions do you want to make to the world? And so it's one of those things that there are multiple different facets that you can go and run after and really make those sweeping changes, those contributions that you want to see take place. And it's potentially creating a garden of your legacy that you may never see those seeds grow. And you may get to the point where you're like, I don't know if what I'm doing is going to make an impact. And so it's one of those things that you just never know. And I find it interesting because recently Patrick and I have gone on to TikTok, and one of the things that is the going trend with TikTok right now with some people is how Facebook and Instagram, a lot of people are getting away from that because it's so a lot of negativity. And that's where I look at what Patrick and I do with the Dreamer Cypher, is really to get away from the negativity, provide the value, give the positivity and whatnot. But I find it so unique that on TikTok, that community, along with the Twitch community, it's one of these things that it's one of those untapped sources that a lot of people don't go after, and they're missing out on a great opportunity. And so it's very unique because I've had individuals that I'll watch their creation with their content, and it's phenomenal just to see how inspiring people are, to see how creative people are, but to have these strangers that you just don't know, just meeting through TikTok, and they're reaching out and saying, hey, you've got a great message, love the content that you're putting out there. One individual's like, a lot more people on TikTok needs to see your content, needs to hear your message that you're providing. And I find it very interesting because that community with TikTok seems to be so much more supportive than Facebook. And so it's one of those honest things that I've had individuals that will say, hey, I see what you're doing on social media, but don't comment, don't like, which is okay. I'm not chasing after that. But when it does come into play that a lot of this stuff is very intangible, you just never know. And so until you hear something and somebody expresses whatever's taking place or the impact that's taking place, you just never know. And so I have to laugh because it is one of those very unique, interesting things that TikTok is one of those things that a lot of people push against, and a lot of people are missing out. And one of the biggest things is the micro video content. And that's kind of the route people are going in regards to building a business, to building an audience, to building a following. Because with micro video content, it's very quick. And we know a lot of people's attention spans really suck. We have very short attention spans. And so the micro video content is the route to go, really, to build an audience, to build a following, to build a business. And I was telling Patrick, I was like, I'm going to laugh if part of our business that occurs comes off of building through TikTok. And so if it happens, it happens. But just based on my experience, it is an interesting thing to see what's taking place, and I love it. And then I know Patrick and I have some stuff in the works, so once this comes into fruition, man, another route of going and making a big dent in some different things and whatnot. So excited for that, just because of what's taking place, the growth, and just the mentality that we have. Really, it's interesting because Patrick talks to individuals in regards to what we do. We bring a different perspective than a lot of people bring. We will go and really look at things outside the box and go through a journey that's unconventional. And for us, it's one of those things that it doesn't scare us because, hey, it hasn't been tried before, or it's not being tried a lot. So let's go ahead and just put it into fruition because people aren't doing it. And so it's an exciting thing when you have the capability and you're not scared, because if you're scared, that limits what you can do. If you're letting fear dictate and control what's taking place, then you end up missing out on a great opportunity to really do some different things, to do some different changes, and really look at something different that a lot of people don't consider. And so that's why I laugh, because a lot of the stuff that we do is very unconventional. It's off the cuff, and that's just how we flow and whatnot. But I was reading because there were some things in here in regards to, I had posted in my story tonight, and it was interesting because, let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can't. But it is really the idea, the power of your mind, the power of your thoughts. Because if you're stacking negative thoughts and you're focused on negativity, that's what you're going to attract. That's what's going to come into your life. And so this is where it really is your paradigm. And so the sad thing is, when you look at the paradigm and the way you process things and your subconscious piece, when it comes to your self-image, that's your subconscious. And so the unique thing is that subconscious is wide open when you're a baby. And so somebody had said that you can really, if somebody was to get a baby and have the aspect of pouring in, shaping their lives up until the age of 7, that makes a huge impact. And so it is interesting because when you're a newborn, your conscious faculties aren't fully developed. And so your subconscious mind is wide open. And so you'll have things that are pouring into your subconscious. And the thing with your subconscious mind is it doesn't know real from fake. And so it cannot reject whatever is being put in there. So it accepts and runs with it. And so it is one of those unique things that if you have this mentality of fear, that's your subconscious piece. And so you've got to really go in there and adjust that. But I find it interesting because there's a book I've been reading, and he was talking in here. Tumble the Poet is the book he had written, which was called Unlearn. If you want to continue facing life, the most important thing isn't learning the new lessons you have to learn. It is unlearning the old ones we have to let go of. And think about that. When you have to unlearn and you have to let go of these things, how easy is it for a lot of people to say, okay, let me unlearn what I've been taught, or let me unlearn this paradigm. Let me unlearn these beliefs that have been poured into me that do not suffice for who I am as a person, that don't match up with who I am as a person. I have to go and learn this. But it's hard because that is you letting go of control and saying, all right, time to flip the switch, time to do some things differently. I've got to question the paradigm that I have. I've got to question these beliefs that I have. I've got to question the values that I have. Because the thing is, your values are one of those things that get poured into you subconsciously. And so if your values truly don't align with who you are and you're not in integrity with your values and your passion and what you're running after, life is going to be horrible. Life is going to be tough. And so that's the thing that you've got to go in there and really question what you've been taught. You've got to go in there and unlearn the lessons that you have that may be holding you back. But it's tough for people to do that because they're like, oh man, now I'm getting outside my comfort zone and it's comfortable and I love where I'm at. I don't have to worry about anything because I'm on autopilot, and that shit is not going to do anything for you. You're going to get stuck and you're going to be very, very upset. And so it's one of those things really you've got to let go and you've got to unlearn the lessons that may be holding you back, but that can be tough because you're going against that comfort zone that's been created. And then as I was looking here, this is a unique thing because we talk about this idea of wisdom, and you'll have people that the experience of life and whatnot. So you go and listen to somebody and they have their experience, and this is the education piece for you. The thing is, that's their experience. So you can learn and listen and potentially cut down your learning curve. But the interesting thing is what worked for one person isn't going to work for you potentially. And so I find it interesting because when we think about wisdom, a lot of people are like, you got to go listen to other people gain wisdom, everything of that nature. And here it's interesting. Humble was talking, wisdom can't be told or taught by anyone else. Only we can mine the jewels of wisdom ourselves. And so that's the thing and this is from the book, Things No One Else Can Teach Us. And so it is one of those interesting things that it is that experience. And so you've got to go experience life. You've got to go through the tough times. You've got to go face the challenges, the obstacles to progress, to grow, to get to where you need to go. But it can be a tough thing because a lot of times we don't want to go face the obstacles. We don't want to go face the challenges, because what happens if we go face the challenges and we end up jacking it up and we screw it up and it's a failure? Well, you know what? Failures are a good thing because that's a way for you to learn, for you to grow and progress. And so we have to adjust how we view the idea of failures and how we are approached and said, oh, that's a failure. And then the crazy thing is you have people that will be like, you'll be a failure. You're never going to do anything in your life and whatnot. And think about that. You're going to be a failure. Well, now you've got that negative connotation with that word of failing. But failing really is for you to progress and grow and get to that next level. So wins are great and whatnot, but you know what? What's really going to level you up and force you to get to that next level is the mistakes, are the challenges, are the obstacles, are the failures. And so that's the thing that is a powerful thing, but it is the aspect that we have this crazy idea that it's a bad thing and whatnot. And so it is one of those aspects that it's just tough and whatnot. And so we gotta change the way we look at different things and whatnot. And so the biggest thing really is knowing yourself makes all the difference. And how many of us truly know ourselves? And I think it gets into the point where a lot of people don't know their true selves because they're still clinging on to the limiting beliefs. They are clinging on to what people have told them. And so their identity is shaped by other people's opinions, other people's stories. It's shaped by the experiences of others. And so people end up having the trouble of letting go and getting to that next level, whatever it may be. And so it's an aspect that you've got to really look at it, and you got to get to the point where you know yourself. But sometimes we don't have that piece, and I'm looking here. I don't know if Leo's watching or whatnot. I'm looking at the comments; they're not popping up here. So, but Leo Nunes said, "Hey Scott, you have to do these earlier. It's bedtime for me." Leo, you can go check this on the replay when you're wide awake. Have a great sleep. And then David Prosper's got the fire emojis going on. So, David, if you're watching, I've got a couple people watching and whatnot. Appreciate the support. Like it's not popping up, whatever. I don't know. Good times. But it's one of those interesting things, really, that are you taking the time to know who you are? Are you going and doing the deep dive and really getting to the point where you're touching base with your core, with who you are, what's going to drive you, your passion? And are you going out there to find out what that truly is for you as an individual and breaking off the chains that people have put on you and said, this is what you're capable of doing? And so there are a lot of individuals that I know. David's one of them. I did an interview with David about a month and a half ago, but just to hear his story and what he's doing is huge. And I'm grateful to know who David is. I'm grateful to be able to have a small relationship with him based on our conversation. But it is powerful to really see what he's doing. And he's the definition of being true to himself and really making a big change in life. And then Lisa, what's up, Lisa? Laughing at Leo here. Yes, take the deep dive to your core. No, that is true. But when you think about it, taking that deep dive, it's not an easy thing because we have to go through the aspect of the layers that have been built up over time. And so it can be scary because you're having to pull back layers that have been developed over time, and it may be hardened layers. And so you've got to go in there with a pickaxe and whatever else to get through those layers and find out who you truly are. And so that's not an easy task, but it's the power of really having those people that you can surround yourself with, your tribe. And so that is the unique thing when I look at what Patrick and I are building with Two Native Sons, and with having these type of conversations, just the tribe that's being built. Because by going out there and helping individuals achieve their dreams, they have that belief, and then they start locking in, and they're coming on with us and going and doing other things and whatnot. But it is the aspect of it takes work, but that's also where you can't, but you don't want to do this on your own, because if you go and try to do this on your own, good luck, because you are going to be stuck based on your experiences. You're going to be stuck based on the jading that has taken place with how you see life and the lenses that you're looking at life through. And so this is the power of finding your tribe. And it goes exactly with the African proverb that I really love to speak on, and that being the idea that you can go fast by yourself, but the thing is, you're going to plateau because you're going off of your own experiences, your own lenses, and that's all you know. And so you're going to plateau, and it's going to be hard to level up. Or you can go far together. And so that is the beautiful thing, that if you have true collaboration, you are going to be able to go a lot further than what may take place by yourself. But the thing is, you've got to really truly find those people that are very to the core, understand the power and the need for collaboration. Because you have some people that will be speaking, they'll be like, I love collaboration. I understand the power of collaboration, but it's a complete lie, because they're showing up with a pseudo mask on and trying to play this game. And so that's where it does come into play, where picking up the energy that somebody's putting off. And so that's the intuition. That's that's following your gut and listening to your gut. Your gut is your second brain. And so it is the piece of really going and listening to your intuition. Feeling the vibration, feeling the energy, because you can pick that up. Your body picks it up. And so we're all individuals that are transferring energy and transferring information that way. And so it's just being open-minded and listening to yourself and trusting yourself, but also not falling for the fakeness that people put out there and whatnot. So this one, usually Dreamer Cypher will run about an hour, but it's only myself. And I laugh because when I look at these type of things where I can really go and talk for 45 minutes just to myself, I guess the power, one of the superpowers that I have is just to be able to just talk and whatnot. But like I said, next week, Patrick and I will be back on together. In regards to the guests that we have on. Usually the interesting thing is when we have guests come on, usually it's the day of. And so sometimes we don't even know who we're going to have on until the day of the Dreamer Cypher, which I want to thank everybody that has jumped on the day of with us, trusting us and just coming on and having a wonderful conversation. Thank you, everyone that has trusted us with that and jumped on and had a good time. So if you're watching this, and we've put it out that if you're watching this and you'd love to come on and have a conversation, reach out. Patrick and I are very open to having everybody come on the Dreamer Cypher because we want to have these open dialects. We want to have this open roundtable discussion where we have a true, authentic conversation. Have it in the open where people see, and then allow people to start thinking and having the conversation with themselves and start looking at things differently. And so you can go ask everybody that has come on to the show with us. We honestly do not have an agenda. We will have people come on and we will never tell you what you cannot talk about. This is an open conversation, and really we allow it to run, and wherever the conversation is going, that's the route that we go, and that's how we run with it, is just following that conversation, because we want people to be here, be their authentic self, be true to them, and just be able to know that this is a space that it's all right to have a difference of opinions. It's all right to look at the world differently, because that's what we need. It's that view that we all have with the world and whatnot. But again, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for showing up and giving myself and Patrick the support to allow us to do this. But also just thank you guys for just being great humans, just being great individuals, and what you bring to the table and what you really bring to our community and our society. It's the beautiful thing that because we're all unique and different, we bring something different to the table, and that's the beautiful thing. So other than that, I'll catch you guys later. Have a great night. Catch you next week.